All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Me here, talking real music in real time for real people, just like you right there, just like me right here. Should the Van Halen brand continue? I mean, I go on these websites; they're talking Van Halen all the time. You've got the Van Halen news desk out there. David Lee Roth does some goofy cartoon, and people are all laser focused. Sammy Hagar introduces another line of tequila. People want to know when it's going to be available, how they can order it, and so forth. Wolfie's got a career going now. And all of these things to me speak to how Van Halen was a band and certainly couldn't have been the success that it was without this brilliant guitar player who is no longer alive, unfortunately, and we continue to mourn every single day. There are people out there who are just missing the wonder of Eddie Van Halen. But that band was off and on for the last 20 years, really. And they were off more than they were on. And I think there are a lot of fans that, again, I've said this in other videos, would just like one more go round. Bring all the players to the table and do one last tour. And obviously, you pay tribute to Ed. You raise money for Ed's causes. You may want to include cancer research in there. I've said this a couple of times. No tour would be bigger. No tour would be bigger, and it would not be disrespectful. In fact, you could honor Eddie Van Halen in a way that would be unprecedented, and you'd raise awareness for the things that he cared about. And in addition to that, right, fans would get some closure. This would be it. People would understand. Look, they're going out, they're doing this one thing, one last thing. And of course, you have the kitchen sink concept like they wanted to do. You have Sammy and Dave and Michael and Wolfie, if he wants to be a part of it, and Alex, obviously. And my idea is to probably hire another guitar player who was somewhat influenced by Ed and maybe who could keep up with Ed to some degree. I don't know if anybody actually could, but you bring as much firepower as you can in order to make the thing work. You go over to like Van Halen News Desk, and they're talking about iconic photos with both Dave and Ed walking away from a McDonald's, the old classic single arch, and they're munching on probably a 25-cent hamburger back in 1978. It's like this cold day back in 78 in the wintertime, and people are thinking to themselves, man, I wish we could go back, especially with the last 15 months of lockdowns and, I don't know, psychological trauma. I don't know how else to say it. I mean, people are looking for something to look forward to. And imagine saying, we're going to put together, I don't know if you call it Van Halen, I don't know if you just call it a tribute, but you do more than one show. You do a tour. You go from city to city to city, featuring members of Van Halen. There are ways to do this. If you don't want to call it Van Halen, I still think you should try to keep the brand alive for as long as all these other guys are still with us. Because someday they're not going to be with us, and someday either they're going to go to where Ed is now, or they're going to just retire and then fade away, and people will forget about this stuff. And for a guy like me, I think you should try to keep it alive as long as you can. Nobody's coming along to replace Van Halen anytime soon. This is the argument I always have with people. There are no bands that, somebody over 50, for instance, can really embrace. There are a few, and I point them out, but the way the music industry is right now, you probably don't know about them. And you're not going to have that corporate collective experience of everybody hearing the music on a great radio station near you that's playing all of your old favorites and then adding some of this new material and blending it together. Nobody's doing that. And that's the problem. That's why a lot of people are holding on to the things that give them joy and happiness. And a Van Halen tribute or final tour would do just that. I'm sure the news desk would have a lot to talk about, and it would certainly boost all of these classic rock websites that are talking about TV shows, classic TV shows, instead of talking about classic rock. So, because there's just so little to talk about, you have to fill your day with things that are kind of related to nostalgia, related to the music you used to listen to, rather than actually talking about, hey, there's this new band that sounds like Foreigner. There's this new guy by the name of Kent Hilly that sounds like Lou Gramm. You're not finding that content anywhere. I guess that's why I have a lane here on YouTube. Again, thanks for watching the videos. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, and Patreon for just $1 a month. And yeah, of course, if you don't agree with me, it's fine, because many people will say, just let it go. Eddie Van Halen was a once in a lifetime, so just let it go. And I'm sure that's probably going to be the prevailing view on this. And I get it. I totally get it. All right. See you soon.